Just last week, I had a coaching session with a teen who was struggling to make decisions under peer pressure. She said, "When something's happening in front of me, I get flustered and I can't think straight." The truth is, the world today moves faster and presents risks we never imagined as teens, like deciding whether to share a vape that might be laced with fentanyl, navigating the pressures of social media, or managing relationships in person and online. That's why teaching teens risk assessment skills is more critical than ever. So let's dive in. During this recent session, I spoke with this teen whose friends were pressuring her to try vaping. She told me, "I keep going back and forth and then land on, is one time really that bad?" Teens today face these decisions constantly, often without tools to navigate them confidently. The rapid rise of social media, peer pressure, and misinformation has created an environment where one wrong decision can have life altering consequences. We know that teens' brains are still developing, particularly the prefrontal cortex, which controls decision making and impulse regulation. This is why they often make decisions based on emotions rather than logic. And the stakes are high given the easy access teens have to risky situations and the easy access these industries have to our teens. By teaching risk assessment, we give teens the tools to pause, think critically, and make choices that align with their goals and values. Risk assessment teaches teens to ask themselves, what are the pros and cons of this choice? What might happen if I act on it? And how will this affect me now and in the future? This pause can make all the difference, even in high pressure situations. Teens often base their decisions on misconceptions they pick up from friends, social media, or Netflix. Here are some common myths about risky behaviors. It's impossible to get pregnant the first time, or vaping is harmless, it's just flavored air, or there's medications now to treat sexually transmitted infections. It's not as big of a deal now. As a physician seeing college students, I see constantly how many myths they have around sexual health and substance abuse, which significantly influences their decision making. Our approach is shaped by Dr. Albert Ellis, one of the founders of modern psychology and the creator of rational emotive behavior therapy. His method focuses on teaching people how to challenge irrational thoughts and make better decisions. One of Dr. Ellis's most effective tools is the pros and cons list, which encourages people to evaluate decisions logically. Teens use this method to weigh choices like waiting to engage in intimate behavior or deciding whether to try marijuana. Dr. Ellis's research shows that critical thinking is a skill anyone can learn. And when teens use these tools, they gain confidence in making thoughtful decisions. Our approach makes learning about risk assessment engaging and relatable for teens. We use TikTok style videos featuring other teens teaching about these topics, like handling the peer pressure, or STI prevention, or pregnancy risk, navigating social dynamics around drugs and alcohol. Each video frames these risks in the context of evaluating the situation thoughtfully and critically. Here are the tools we use. Pros and cons list, helping teens weigh short term rewards against long term consequences. Worst case scenario exercises, encouraging teens to imagine the potential outcomes of risky behaviors. Peer influence check practices, teaching teens to recognize and resist peer pressure, empowering them to make value based choices. Readiness checklists, helping teens assess if they're emotionally and practically ready for significant decisions. These tools aren't just theoretical, they're actionable steps teens can use in their daily lives. When teens develop risk assessment skills, they make more thoughtful decisions under pressure, avoid risks like sexually transmitted infections or unplanned pregnancies, and they build confidence in standing up for their values. These skills prepare teens for adulthood by teaching them to evaluate risks, trust their instincts, and approach challenges confidently. And whether it's in relationships, their academics, or their careers, or other major life decisions, critical thinking empowers them for a lifetime of success. So let me leave you with this. Think about a decision you made as a teen that changed your path. Imagine if you had the tools to pause, reflect, and choose differently. Now, consider how we can help today's teens avoid the risks we never faced ourselves: the normalization of vaping and marijuana, strangling during intimacy, or easy access to adult websites. If the stakes are higher now than they were for us, shouldn't we prepare them better? This isn't just about being overprotective, it's about empowering them to thrive in a world full of challenges. So let's give them the skills they need to think critically, act confidently, and stay safe. What could this mean for your teen?